आज हम देखेंगे एट्रीब्यूट्स. ओके. Attributes generally होते क्या? What's the attribute is? Attribute is just a way what's to write for the value defined for the block. Okay, we define extra value from inside the block. This is called attributes, right? Okay. So then we start. What we issue attribute is, suppose here I define a one block right here. Okay, not define here. This block is already available in your system. Okay, in design center, right? And then take a one block, right? This of this type of wall, right? I take this and click on OK. This is your wall, right? And then I just use here a wall, and then here we have to show this a key mark. Daily Valve supplier, daily Valve tag, daily Valve description and size, whatever it is, right? By default value is x, 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 and then others values are there also. Okay, this is called my attributes, right? This is called attributes. Which attributes will be extra detailing apply on your block is called your attributes. Okay, जो extra detailing आपके blocks के अंदर apply होती है, use होती है, उसे हम कहते हैं attributes. जैसे कि यहाँ पे आपके पास ये डिजाइन तो है. This is your design and this is your values. Okay, तो triple x is your value, right? यहाँ पे आप कोई ना कोई वैल्यू लिखोगे या हो सकता है इसका नंबर लिखोगे, वॉट एवर इट इज. ओके, कुछ भी हो सकता है. दिस दिस इज कॉल्ड एट्रीब्यूट. तो ये चीज हम ब्लॉक्स के अंदर जब डिफाइन करते हैं तो इसे हम कहते हैं एट्रीब्यूट्स, राइट? तो हम कैसे बना सकते हैं इसको? जब हम ब्लॉक क्रिएट कर देते हैं, आई नो हाउ टू क्रिएट ब्लॉक. आपको अच्छे से पता है ब्लॉक को कैसे क्रिएट करना. बस उसमें आप एट्रीब्यूट कैसे अप्लाई करोगे, दिस इज योर सेंस. अब यहाँ पे हम वही चीज सीखने वाले हैं, हाउ टू अप्लाई आवर एट्रीब्यूट्स, राइट? तो हाउ टू डू दैट? सपोज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी नीड टू मेक अ ब्लॉक. ओके, मैंने एक ब्लॉक बनाने की कोशिश की. एक सिंपल ब्लॉक आई क्रिएट हियर एंड आई जस्ट क्रिएट हियर and this is my simple block, right? And then this slot I create here, and then I want to define as a block, and also I want to assign here is any value, any name, any things. I just move it, and then I want to write here is the name. How to write here is a name? Yeah, you can write here as anything. Okay, suppose here I want to write is details, name, whatever you want. Okay, मुझे यहाँ पे एक नाम लिखना है, right? और मैं इससे क्या बनाना चाहता हूँ? ब्लॉक बनाना चाहता हूँ. ब्लॉक बनाने के बाद जब भी मैं इस ब्लॉक को लूँ तो यहाँ पे मैं कोई भी नेम स्पेसिफाई कर सकूँ. तो हाउ टू डू दिस थिंग? तो फॉर दिस पर्पज वी हैव टू यूज हियर इज अ ब्लॉक, नॉट अ नेम हियर. तो मैं इसे डिलीट कर देता हूँ, मुझे इसकी जरूरत नहीं है. मुझे इसके लिए ब्लॉक डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा, एट्रीब्यूट राइट करना पड़ेगा, राइट? This is the attribute definition. Define attributes, right? ATTDEF is a shortcut of define attributes. If you don't have to find here, then you can also click this part. And if you don't here to find that, then go to the insert check. And here we got your define attributes option, right? Block definition, define attributes, right? Here we have the also the option of the blocks also and everything. And then you can also use a shortcut. This is shortcut is my ATTDEF, right? Attribute defined. So just click on here. This will be pop-up windows will be open here. Here, what you do? First of all, you write here's a tag name. What's the tag name is? तो यहाँ पे आपको ब्लॉक का नाम लिखना है. What's the block name is? Suppose I want to name. Okay. And then also remember that if you have two words of the block, then don't use a space between them of the tag name. You use I use enter name. So I use a hyphen sign, and this for cables, whatever you want to use here, but don't use space between them. Okay? तो आप इसके बीच में space कभी use नहीं करोगे tag name के लिए. Okay? यहाँ पे prompt में आप लिख सकते हो. You can write here is a prompt, enter your name. Right? So I write here inside the prompt, enter your name. Okay? This is my prompt. And then if you want to show has a default value is x, x, and x right here, so they can also see default values. And then here we can specify the text size is my 15. Okay. And this will be enter your name is option will become, and this is your tag name, right? And just I click where you want to paste, just click here, and then what will be happen? This will be not work here right now, but if you define the block, how to define the block, B enter for block, okay, right? This will be taught as letter B enter for the block, and then name is a block. Anything name is a just example. I write here as a name is my example, right? And then select your object first. Okay, this is my object. Select all object and then enter. Select the pickup points. Okay, we need also a pickup point. I select this pickup point, right? Millimeter description, whatever you want to show here. I also already defined the block right here. And just click on OK. And then once we get here we got this attribute, edit attributes and click on OK, right? If you insert the block and then this those who I create here, if you create here, just click on this part and just space for where you want to show here. Just click on it. And then here you can write any name, okay? Name whatever you want your name here, okay? So suppose I name it, sorry, okay? And then click here is okay. Then this will name will be appear, okay? This will be used for defining your extra feature inside your block. This is called the attributes, okay? And attributes is work with the blocks, not other way, right? By this way, you can define as the attributes. After that, we use here is edit attribute option also. Here we have the option of the edit attribute also. तो मैं यहाँ पे edit attribute के option को भी click कर सकता हूँ. How to do that? For the edit attribute, right here's the ADT and EDIT for attribute edit. Click on the attribute edit. Select which attribute you want to edit it. Select this attribute I write here, and then what should do happen? Again, you can come to this part and write here any value. Suppose I write here say ABC, you can and click on OK. This is your attribute. If you double click on it, okay, then this enhance attribute editor will be called, okay. And then if you need is to change here the value, then you can also change your value, right? So right here is my spelling is mistake, naked, and then click on OK. This attributes will be applied here. Okay, if you double click on it, also you can say change this value. If you double click on it, and then you can also change this value, right? Which value you want to say, select it and then change it. Right? And then if you don't need here, then you can also use the shortcut of this part. Okay. Suppose for the modifying multiple attributes at a time, then you can use a Batman. Okay. Here we have the multiple attribute inside it. This is involved attributes. This is my these two types of attributes we can make here. Then what you do? BATMAN, Batman, right? And then hit the enter. Here we have the block attribute manager right here. How to block attribute will be managed here. For this purpose, which type of attributes you want? I use two types of attribute here. It is example and value. Click on this part and then click on the edit option. Come to the edit option right here. यहाँ पे edit option पे आना. आप चाहते हो कि यहाँ का tag name हम change कर दें. मैं यहाँ पे सिर्फ only name चाहता हूँ इसके अंदर, not the other value. तो just click on the name. And if you want to enter your name की जगह आप यहाँ पे चाहते हो कि नहीं ये मुझे ABC दे, तो मैं यहाँ पे ABC लिख सकता हूँ, right? तो वट एवर यू वांट टू शो है, तो आप यहाँ पे चेंज प्रॉम्प्ट चेंज वट एवर यू वांट आप कर सकते हो. टेक्स्ट ऑप्शन पे आओगे तो टेक्स्ट की वैल्यू सपोज मुझे टेक्स्ट काफी बड़ी लग रही है तो मैं यहाँ पे 12 साइज दे देता हूँ. अलाइनमेंट मुझे लेफ्ट नहीं लेना, सेंटर लेना है, वट एवर यू वांट टू शो है. ओके, टेक्स्ट स्टाइल आप चेंज करके एनोटेटिव लेना चाहते हो एनोटेटिव ले लो, वट एवर यू वांट. ओके, विथ फैक्टर अपसाइड डाउन वगैरह वगैरह आप काफी सारी चीजें ले सकते हो. इफ यू गो टू द प्रॉपर्टीज है तो आप यहाँ पे लेयर्स अगर आप चाहते हो अप्लाई करना तो यू कैन ऑल्सो अप्लाई योर लेयर्स like that. You can apply here. Okay, you can apply here is a color also. Okay, suppose here I want to apply the color also and then click on OK. And then you can apply in current setting. This will be apply on the current setting. Click on OK. What we got here? Here we got the default values ABC, and then here we got this name in change of the size and then also color, whatever it is you define here. Okay, this is your attributes, right? And if you again back in here, and then I want to click on here, and then I select here to the value matrix side, then you can also edit this portion also. Okay, when we click this part, okay. The selected text size, if you suppose this text size is not worry about it, then you can use 5, whatever you want to do. Okay? This is your option, your data, right? Which one you want to show here to just use it and click on the edit, and then you can show this type of thing. Okay, text options, etc., whatever you want here. center alignment properties, and anything we can add here to this is your choice. Okay. And if you want to remove it, then you can also remove it. This is defined by default, defined. Okay, that's why we can just use it and just click on OK, whatever you want to show here, then apply it and then click on OK. Right? This will be shown. Okay, and then I increase the size option also. Right? That's why it says the size will be increased as well. This way you can create your attributes, and also you can on control to of display of attributes. Here we have the fourth option is attribute display displacement. Then how can we use the attribute displacement? So for this purpose, you write here ATTDISP, right? Attribute displacement. And then here, if you don't want to show the attribute, just off the attributes. And then what will happen? Your attributes will be can't be shown. Okay. By this way, you can attribute display means you can on and off. Okay. If you click on normal to normal, you can show here. And then if you click on off, on, then you can show the attributes. If you off, then attribute will be the can't be shown in your block. Okay. If you can select any block, attribute will be not shown. Okay. But I want to show the attribute to just what you do at DSP. Okay. DISP, right? Attribute displacement and click on normal and then whatever you want. Okay. On, you can also use the on for the on this part. Then this is the attributes will be shown in this section, right? By this way, you can define this attribute, right? That's clear, Olive? Okay. So, okay. One thing I make here by use of attributes just is we can use any object for this. Well, suppose this is an example of the wall when anything by use of this part. I use one thing and then I make one thing of your this section by use of this way. Okay. So what we make here, I suppose here, so I make a title sheet by use of the attributes. Then how can we do this the title sheet value right here? Here, one second. I use title sheet and the right here is title sheet values rectangle first. I use a rectangle RC enter and select this option. Okay. And then right here is the dimension is my A4 size title sheet I want to make here. To do this, for this purpose, you use 297 enter 210. And then once you get here we got this type of the title sheet, right? And then I want to do one thing. I offset it or enter. And offset is I generally use offset is by 100. Okay, and then click. Sorry for this part. I don't need here. Okay, I don't use it at this moment. I get this wrong way. I just enter, delete it, and then I want to make here by use of line. Okay. So this purpose you use 297 here and 210 here and 297. Okay. Here and C enter for close. And then what you do? Bus O enter for offset and the right here's offset is 100. And I take here the offset is 100. Okay, whatever you want, offset 100 is not enough. So then I take here as a 150, right? And after that, I want to show the value again to do other way. Suppose I want to show you. I offset this part is suppose 40 and then again 40. Okay. And then again, I think, okay, here we don't have to find out this value. So one thing I do here to divide that 140, right? Okay, then what you do? As a select delete it and then offset is an offset distance I take here is a 200, right? Don't need to show it. This is 200, right? And then here we want to take the offset distance 50 and again 50 and again 50. Okay. By this way, you can create it. And then inside it, where I want to show the offset distance is here. Suppose here I want to show 30. And then here I show here is a 30. Okay. And then here I show here is your 50. Okay. And then here I show you there is a 50 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 and okay. Okay, this will cover most of areas, right? That's why I don't want to show this part. Just click on here and then use a 15 and then 15. And after that, I use a 10, 10, 10, and 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just like okay, and then use a trim. So delete extra part I don't need here. And after that, I want to also delete this part. Okay. And then I also used to delete this part. Yeah. And trait. Okay. And what we do? For this purpose, I want to show make this type of title sheet, and then here we apply here something else. Suppose here I want to apply here is a name. Okay. So first of all, I take the DT entry where you write here's a DT, and then text size is 6 is here 6, and rotation is here. And then first of all, I write here's a name. Okay. Enter. Select here. Move command. I take move command, and then I paste here. Okay. Copy it to paste as it is. Okay. I edit another way. Okay. And here we use date. Okay. And here we use drawn by. And here we write here is checked by. And here I write here is approved by. Okay. Okay. And then what you do? Next one I want to do here is the value, and then I also want to assign here is a logo. Okay. And then here some values also. Suppose here to want to do is a DT again, and then I here to write in note 3. Okay. 0 degree. Here projection, and I check here. I am enter and select here. I write here is a projection. Which type of projection you use? Okay. And next one we use here to do legal owner name. Yeah, I write here is a legal owner name. Here I write here is a title of the seats. Okay. Here I write here is a scale. Here we write here is your paper size. Okay. Here we write here is a project number. Okay. And then here we write here your dimensions. Okay. Okay. And then here we just change it to this, double click on it here. And then here legal owner, name of the legal owner. And then here want to write here the title. And then again click on this bar scale. And here I want to write here as a paper size. What paper size I use? Okay, and then here I want to write here your project number. What's the project number is your, okay, and then here I want to write here is your dimension. Dimensions, okay, which type of dimension, I mean just whatever you want to create. Okay. To those parts, this is your way. And then one thing I want to write here inside this part, I want to show as your image. For the image purpose, what you do for the image insert, we have the insert option. Inside the insert option, we have I click on the part and then I want to insert the also. If image, if you need the image, then you can insert the image also. Okay, how can we insert the image also? Just import whatever you want to import here. Other format, I click on the other format, okay, and then I want to use as an image. The image where the image is one second, both other format. क्यों नहीं यहाँ कुछ ओके मैं इमेज स्टोर से डायरेक्ट ला भी सकता हूँ ओके मगर इस फॉर्मेट में मैं लेके आता हूँ पीडीएफ फॉर्मेट में तो हमें नहीं चाहिए इमेज नहीं ड्राइंग फॉर्मेट में हमें इंपोर्ट करना है इमेज को हाउ टू इंपोर्ट द इमेज ओके रास्ता इमेज हमें चाहिए वन सेकेंड यहाँ पे और क्यों नहीं आ रहा है इमेज ऑप्शन क्यों नहीं शो कर रहा रास्ता इमेज का ओके चलो यहाँ पे आया फाइल नेम इंपोर्ट फाइल नेम कहाँ से लाऊं मेरे पास फाइल नेम तो याद भी नहीं है ठीक है 1 minute आई जस्ट यूज हियर is your if you don't have to find out how to import it sometimes if you happen to be insert here okay to this part then what you do well, you can also do one thing to come this part and find out your logo okay I want to apply here is a logo which logo I want to apply logo just select here to the logo of my company. Mm, okay I select this logo. This is PNG logo. Just copy it. One thing. Okay, this is my raster image, right? Just use to copy here. Copy it and then come to this part and then paste it. Okay. And where you want to paste, and then okay. And this is my logo, right? And just adjust this logo inside this part if you need it. Okay. And for this part, I don't have this thing. To one thing I do to this part is my scale stretch. Okay. For the stretch, I just stretches this portion. Once again, as enter for the stretch, going to stretch this, enter, select this part, I just stretch it. Okay, so just a stretch. Okay, that is I think not needed it too much. Okay, that's good. Okay, come this part and then use am enter, move it, and just come to this part. If you don't find out here, then one thing I also do, just as enter, stretch this portion also, as enter, and then I stretch it. Okay. One thing. Yeah, this. Okay, that's good. Okay, here we have to apply here is a logo also. Okay, and this will be created, right? Just I want to this is by default values. This one I want to use here. But I want to one thing also I want to specify here is your day value, right? Then how can we add here is a value? Suppose here I want to write here is the value of this other way. First of all, I create here is attributes. Attributes, whatever attributes is attribute defined first. A double T D E I. Attribute defined. I write here is attribute defined. Okay. And then first of all, use name is your name, Joe name, John name. Okay. Joe by name. Okay. Here we write here is a Joe by name, and then enter. Enter the name of Joe. Enter the name of John by. Okay. Which one John here? And if you're here to write, here's the default value is XX, right? And then here you can assign your values. Distance is 5, right? And I just click here, right? Okay. So when have to anyone join this path, then you can also assign the date also. Okay. That's why we can use here to date also. How can we do this? The date. Okay. So one for a part for this path. Then what you do? Or we do one thing for date purpose. We use the attribute define again. Right? Here's attribute define. Come to this part, and then here I want to date, okay, draw date. Okay, here we write here's a draw date, and then here enter the draw date. Okay, enter the draw. And then if you want to default value, you can also assign the default value by use of insert field option and click on the insert field option. In this section, we want to apply a current date and time. Yeah. Also, we also you can also only apply your current date. Then how can we do this? Not here to date and time. I just only apply here is a only date. Okay, not here to date and time. Then what you do? Just use a date. Okay, right? Any date you can use here. Suppose this type of date you can want to show here. Then you can also show this type of date. Don't want to use any part. Okay, suppose I want to show this part of the date. Then here you can use to this type, and any type you can want here. So just click on it and click on the size of this part is okay. And here I click here, okay, wherever you want to show. Okay, this will be misplaced. 1 second, I want to oh, it and then click on it. Okay. One thing I want to do again, attribute define. Click on the attribute define. Right here is date, and then enter drawing date. And then I want to show the drawing date is current date on your site. Okay. And this date I selected here, and then click on OK. This is filled by yourself. You can find out here, and just click here. There you got that this. And next one is your check by. How to check by value is used. Again, you can define your attribute first, and then checked by. I write here the check, and then enter checked by name. Okay. And then here we write date. Okay, which date you want to write here. Okay. I write here default values XXXX, whatever you want. Okay, I don't write here because check by is checked and approved by is done as a different date also. Then I think this is the name of the checkbox. Okay, I think I do the double click on it and then okay, this is clear. Okay, next one will we do here. To one thing I want to show just attribute define. Okay, again and then attribute define here. Next one is your date. And then here, what you checked by date. And then here, I use XXX, right? And click on OK. And then like this. Okay. And next one is approval. So what you do? Just again you create here and then approved. Enter approved by name. Okay, and then the column you write here is access. And this is your option, right? And just click here to do. And again, we use enter. And then here we use the date, enter, approved date. Okay, and here I use this access and click on OK. and then I put this spot. Okay. Then here we use the projection. Okay, projection has rated to create it. First of all, legal on I have to define as a business account here. So right, legal owner detail, owner name, enter legal name, and then default values is your access. I just decrease the size of this part is 4. Click of OK. And this is your legal owner name. So we'll click on it and then I just remove the name because I don't pick here. This one. Okay. Next one is your again for the title section. You want to define the attribute first of the title section. Enter title. I like the title. Okay. And project title. Again, and then I write here the default value is XX. Then click on OK. And just click here. Okay. Next one is your scale. For this scaling, by default scaling, we use the 1:1. Okay. That's why again we can use attributes scale and scale. Okay. And then enter scale. If you click here, and then okay, here we have to write here the scale option and select the scale option here. Ratio 1, ratio whatever you want to here to show. Okay. And then click. Okay, and then here I want to show one ratio 1. You can also specify default scale. Second. So, one ratio 1. Whatever you scale want to show here to see also any of the scaling item. Okay. And this type of scaling will be shown per way. Okay, so that's it. One ratio 1 I show here. Okay. And then click on this part. Okay. And just right here your scale. And the next one is your paper size. By default, you so use the paper size. Then you say it could different. And right here is a paper size. And the size of the paper. And then I write here A4. Okay. And click here. And then again, I use to define the project. Enter your project number. And then here I write by default is 01. Okay. And click on OK. And next one is dimensions. It will be defined again and then click on the dimension. Dimensions. Enter. Use dimension in your project. And then here I use in mm. Okay. I use in mm, then I use here is in mm and then click on here. Tick. This will be used and then here I want to make one thing also is my suppose here I used to see enter and then make 4 mm this, see enter again and make 2 mm of this. Okay. And then I, used to make a line. to this, okay, and to this, to this, okay, and then here I used to make line by this to this, okay, and then again I want to make the line by this to this, okay, and this will show which type of projection you use it. Okay. And first of all, say this select, okay. First of all, I take here is a center line. Okay, we have the center line and convert into the center line. Okay. And PR enter, and then I scaling, I decrease the scaling 3.5. Or if you use 0.2, okay, here we want to go. Okay, if you want to 5, okay, let's go. Okay, I think 5 is perfect. Okay, this is my line, and then this is projection details we can show here. Then enter first and select any value, and then just define as a projection type. Okay, which type of projection you use here. Okay. Let's use this part. Uses a lantern command. Okay, lantern. Select this, and then use a dynamic. Okay. Yes. Okay, this is your projection type, and this is your value. Okay, I create this a title sheet, and I make this title sheet as a block. But how can we do this? For this purpose, you select this block first, and after that, we'll click your B enter. And then what you guess here, name is the block, name is your title sheet. Okay. And then specify your pickup points. This is your my object, right? Okay, I just use this and pickup point I want to show here is a pickup point. But you select the pickup point, I select this pickup points, right? The millimeters I use here and then click on OK. Then what we go here, here we got this value in mm 01 E4 size, whatever you want, scaling, enter project name. This site is my example, and then legal owner, his name is ABC, approved by DEF, EFC, okay, checked by HJK, checked by name, okay. Anything you can write here. And for the date, you can check by name, ALIMNO, okay. And date is your right here, suppose today, any dates you can write here. If you write nothing to nothing, and then drawn by name, enter drawn dates, whatever. Drawn date is shows the current date, right? Where you create here, and this current date will be shown here. And then if you don't need here, just click on accept and then click on OK. Okay. If your changes, then you can value will be changed and click on OK. Then what's to get here? Here we got this all values. If any type, you can insert this title sheet. Okay, suppose I want to insert this title right here, any type. Then what you guys say, yeah, we have to go this type of thing. Okay, and then you can write, and this will be current date. Every time you can say here, this will be showing the current date. That's clear. How to make this type of thing? Okay, this is also in your workbook to check this out. How to make this thing? This is your title sheet by use of the attributes and block. I create this thing. Clear? That's clear, all of you, how to create this type of thing, and then also how to attributes and block I can use here. And in this case, also I explained the block and attributes, right? Or not? यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया सभी को? हमें कैसे यूज करना है ब्लॉक एंड एट्रीब्यूट्स का बेसिक से चीज थी, एंड देन मैंने एक एग्जांपल भी आपको अच्छे से करवा दिया जिससे आपको टाइटल शीट भी बनाना आ गया, एंड देन यूज कैसे करना है इसका ये भी आप